Well, we're on our way back home now. A short trip, so to speak. Not even a working vacation, really, an annoyance than anything sometimes. But when the horses train as good as they did today on both sides of the border, again, I'm only getting third-person reports from Amy, who had talked to Johnny, and then I had spoke to Danny and James, and by all accounts, either they all got their stories straight together, or they were all pretty pleased with what took place in Ontario today. I know I was very pleased with what I saw in Ohio. You know, you guys saw the little mishap in the fifth set where the guy, and this wasn't, I knew this is exactly what happened. They had third-party people picking up tanks. As they're changing the lights around, they were picking up the tanks, and had oblivious to the fact that he could scare horses with a giant tractor with chains on the front of it. No idea that might scare a horse. So, as you saw, our horses went around him all day, and to be fair, Amy and I were talking about it after. It wasn't the horses. The only horse that really caused the mishap was Blanton's Blue, and he's a little skittish. Like, he sees everything, he looks at everything. Nobody was really paying much attention to the tractor, certainly not Sedona Hill. It didn't bother her at all, because these horses see these tractors all the time, but Blanton's Blue is still not sure. He thought maybe he was under attack. She sees everything too, but she's pretty level-headed.
No.
Like, Digit understands. She gets scared, but she understands. This guy, it's almost like he's a little scared, and he's like, it's not worth it, and he just wrecks everything. But aside from Blanton's Blue, it wasn't his fault. The fault lay completely at the feet of the gentleman driving that tractor, and I had let him know about it afterwards. And I was a little heated when I first saw him, and I went back and I said, listen, at the end of the day, nobody got hurt, and his contention was, I'm doing my job. And I told him, that's great, the track is open, and if your job endangers me, you need to stop doing your job. And I think he got it, but you could tell he wasn't a horse person. He had no idea that what was going on outside of the cab of that tractor. And, you know, just sometimes everybody's got to pay attention. Same as us too. It just never dawned on me. I saw him go across the track when we started our mile. It never dawned on me he'd come right back on the track, and that's just simply because it didn't register to him that might be a problem. So, and it wasn't a problem. Blanton's Blue got scared and shied into Darrell, and every couple of horses made breaks, but for the most part, everybody did their work well before and after that little mishap. And in regards to the sets today, a couple little highlights. I'm going to go set to set horses that really, Amy and I went back and watched the videos, and, you know, we got home, had to have a shower, obviously. By the time the last set went, it was worse than mud. It was just sheer water. It was spraying everywhere. And the last set, although the track was still a little firm underneath, it was a decent set. So we went home, had a little shower. I had a little nap before we headed back to Ontario because there really was no rush. So first set, I saw that Electric Line made a break. A horse set, first time I've gone with Vaquero Blue Chip in a very long time. I changed his first day with the hobbles. I tightened them up quite a bit from where they went out the track. And you could tell, very fast colt. This is the brother to Spider Blue Chip, right? I was worried that his attitude was waning a little bit, especially the Father Patricks. They keep a very close eye on them. But this guy, no, he's Father Patrick. Victory Blue Chip, yeah. So this guy, he was sprinting to the wire. That's as fast as his legs would carry him. And he did everything perfect. You could feel him a little self-conscious in the turns, but as I said, it's not that he's getting used to the hobbles. He never had them on until right before he walked out the barn. It was the first time he ever had them on. Got a little pulp. Pretty happy. Lover's Play, Jason Merriman said went very good. I had to take his word for it. It looked like she did her work well and finished up. This is a horse, I told Steve the other day, this is a horse that really flies under the radar. No one really pays attention to her until you watch her or until you're on the track with her. Really nice filly, and I think she's got a bright future. She was good today. Really don't care. Jason comes off and he goes, who's she by again? And I said, Chapter 7. He goes, that's too bad. He really loves her, and he would like to keep her. Just a beautiful, beautiful filly. Does everything right and was flying. Now, I'm not going to say that I beat him because we were both sprinting at the wire. We finished right there together. Really Don't Care, and Vaquero Blue Chip, and I just picked you up. I hope you didn't think you won.
No, I was third.
Yeah, you were third beat ahead. But Amy was at least, not 12, well, 11 football fields back in the quarter pole.
That's my move.
That's your move, yeah. A couple quarter and 28-3 in the second quarter.
I'm James.
Yeah. Affection, though, just such a beautiful filly. Also, you're going to hear that a lot because we really are blessed this year thus far, and it's hard. In a perfect world, if we could take the information we had year over year over year and apply it to now, man, we'd be really, really happy right now. But you can't. Every year is different. We don't know how good everybody else's horses are going. We don't know if our horses are going to stay healthy and sound all the way through. Are they going to get good drives when they get to the races? Are they going to be able to stay healthy all summer long? No one knows. I don't know. You don't know. And it would be great if we could just take the information we get week to week and use it against last year to predict the future, but it doesn't work that way. But I'll tell you what, being a part of this every single year and then being a part of what we're doing right now leaves me with a very happy feeling as I'm leaving Ohio. As I said, Really Don't Care was great, and Affection was tremendous. You know what I told Eric when we were pulling up? I said, you know what I love? Because he had gone with I'm Fancy Like, and Amy saw I'm Fancy Like on a couple of her bad days, and kind of put a bad taste in everybody's mouth with her. And she's changed so much. Eric pulled up and he said, honestly, Anthony, this filly, I had to check her when Paycheck Princess made a break. I had to go around Paycheck Princess and try and make up ground, and it was he said she was awesome. She was very, very good. I said, Eric, the only reason you hear people asking about I'm Fancy Like all the time is how bad she was when we broke her, but to watch her and Affection on this side of the border and the two green shoes on the other side excel and move forward, it's a great feeling to know that the extra work you put in has really paid off. And with I'm Fancy Like, she was very good, and Affection was so bad to break. Just an absolute cow to break, and has turned into such a nice filly. You can do literally whatever you want with her, and just a sweetheart to do her work now. So good. Set number 2, Paycheck Princess made a break, but as I told everybody at the start of the set's a really slick track, and you could only see, the sun only hit it for about 30 minutes. You could see how wet we were after the last set, so that was all the ice that was on top of the track. So you don't imagine how slick it was. Very hard for horses, one, that are due to be shod, or two, that had flip-flops on, and a number of horses fell into both categories today. Paycheck Princess, you can see when I went to sprint away with Cowboy and I kind of wrapped him up again, who, by the way, has been absolutely tremendous the last 2 weeks. You can tell the extra work that Lauren has put in. We blistered his hind ankles, his sesamoids bother him a little bit behind, so we've been blistering them and painting them, giving him lots of vitamins, keeping, just picking him up. And the horse just looks different. Before he'd go on the track, and it was like he was asleep. It was like you just asked him to, like a kid, you're late for school, and they, go out on the track, and it was impressive, but not nearly as impressive as it is now. Cowboy by the sea, I kind of growled at him coming out of the turn, and he went to sprint away. Paycheck Princess made a break, and I just wrapped him up. And as good as he was, how good was Pickpocket? That was the trotter right in behind me, Pickpocket, and he was finished right on my wheel. I'm Fancy Like was coming to me, and then if you watch, Jason had to weave through too and was coming about 100 with Arson. He finished up really good. Now, Amy told me, and Jason told me too, a lot of the horses they went with, they were kind of fiddling with their mouth and throwing their head. Well, this was the first week we put check bits on them. Now, I took the check bit off of Insider Trading and went with a leather chin strap in Ontario because she too was throwing her head a little bit. So they're always learning. There's new stuff they have to learn, and this is just a new piece of equipment that they have to learn to wear, whether it be the chin strap, the chin chain that goes under, or the check bit in their mouth. We had an abundance of check bits, so I just said, put the check bits in their mouth. If we switch them out, if they continue to fiddle with it, then we can certainly switch them out and it won't be a problem. So that's it there. Everybody went with. Now, Royal Emeralds, I looked again. It was my fault. When I hit that second mound at the pylon, so it was muddy here all week, and then it froze over the last 2 days. So they had the track in pretty good shape. It was a little icy, but where the pylons were, there was mud buildup a little bit, and it was pretty hard. And it really hurt, actually, me, when the jog cart hit that second mound. I hit the first one, And when I hit the second one, I heard Jason make a break. And if you go back and look, right where I hit that mound, you can see the jog cart pop a little bit. Kind of hurt my hip a little bit. And you can see right after I did it, between the noise and the jostling in front of her, the filly made a break. And he said she's been absolutely lights out. I felt bad. Felt bad for the owners who I'm sure were watching. Royal Emerald's just saying, what was that? You know, she's been so good. One, she was in a tough spot. We put her in with the Pacers. That's how good she's been. And two, I think she just got scared when I had hit that second mound of dirt, frozen dirt around the base of the pylon, the second pylon. If you go back and watch the video, you can see it. Set 3, again, I forgot that I had put Prince Charmer in set. Not only has Prince Charmer not done a lot because he had... So just give you a little background of Prince Charmer. About 3.5, 4 weeks ago, he had hit his knee. Whether he got cast or whether he shied away from something, it blew up. He hit it. Now, sometimes when the horses hit their knee there, they can either cut something in there, cause a real nasty contusion, which could actually get infected, right? It causes a problem. And for a week and a half or so, Prince Charmer had a pretty big leg. So I went to jog him the one day. I think we were training. We'd scratched him from training, actually. And I had said to both Jasons, I said, hey, that knee should not be that big anymore. First off, there's no way he hit that hard enough training this speed to cause that injury. Secondly, there's no way it should be that big still. Now, I felt it to make sure that there wasn't anything going on. We contacted the vet. Sure enough, he came in, opened that knee up, and there was I called it a blood clot the other night. I don't actually. It could have been an abscess, whatever it was something nasty going on in there. And obviously, when he opened it up, it blew out. They cleaned it all out, kept it all clean, put a little stitch or two in it, and the knee was great. Now, I was a little concerned today. As I said, I wonder if he hits that knee boot, is it going to re-aggravate his knee? Come off the track, there was marks on his knee boot, but again, Jason told me he didn't hit his knee, so that's how little he hits it, but he just brush, pick, not that big pound, just picked at it. So, when Jason said he didn't hit it, I said, great, but then the caretaker, Sarah Corbin, said, those knee boots are marked up. One on the left is definitely marked up. So we went and felt his knee was fine. When she put him away, his knee was fine again. We didn't have to give him any anti-inflammatories or anything. Now, what does that mean? Do we just continue to cover it up with that knee boot? And will it get stronger and kind of get tougher? Or do we put maybe a go straight on him for a little bit? It's so weird because he doesn't... When you watch him trot, that trajectory of that foot does not draw him into that knee that bad. So I think it's just timing and circumstances. But I'm not concerned. The horse... And aside from all this, that mile today, just so we're clear, was the first training mile. I galloped him on Wednesday. I told you that. That was the first training mile that horse has gone since we scratched him way back when. It's been maybe a month since Prince Charmer trained, and literally got picked off at the wire in 43. That's how good that horse was today. So for those of you out there that dumped all your shares because I was just bringing you the information, telling you that he hit his knee, I'm telling you, you can live to regret that transaction. This is a nice colt that clearly is talented and clearly wants to do his work. I was extremely impressed with him. In fact, as I was saying, he was third. He was not third. I watched the replay again. I thought that I beat him for second. I did not. He was second, and Goldbug Hanover, another one of these green shoes that came on over the last month. She lost to toe weight. We let her hobbles way out today. We're going to take them off her next time. And she lost to toe weight, and still just... Eric was just sitting like a statue on the outside. She just trotted by everybody at the wire. Just looked amazing. Memory and imagination was in behind her. He was a little rickety in the turns, but again, really icy surface. This horse was bomb-proof the other day with hobbles. Icier surface today, and Darryl kept him together, and he did his work well. So great job by the horse, whose attitude has come along perfectly since we castrated him, and Darryl too, who did a great job with the horse. Southwind Digit was in behind them. I pretended that I didn't see him go by when she was acting up the first time, and the look on your face. You were not happy with me at all, I can tell.
She was scared of the thing that almost killed us in set 5. It was on the other side.
But I literally pretended that you were coming at me and I was scoring the horse down. And I looked over and I pretended I didn't see him, but then, I looked at your face and You had a bit of a grimace. You were really angry. I could tell, and I could read your mind.
She was fine in the mile.
I know she was fine in the mile. She's a sweetheart in the mile. Mounds for all. Big change in this guy, right? You saw it now today. You see the changes, not the change that I saw in affection. That is amazing, that change. Not the change that I saw in, that I've seen in I'm Fancy Like, but a significant change. That horse, I got him down to the passing lane in tight quarters because if you watch, Jason is running in, coming out of the turn with Prince Charmer also. He ran in, and I literally had, until he scooped him up a little bit, I only had enough room to start up in there. I give him a little swat, I touched him again, and he trotted right through, but what I found most impressive was what he did after the mile. Screamed away from them and trotted as hard as he could into the backstretch. He's coming. Now he's realizing that he's good at his work, and that's when their attitude starts to change. Mounds for all, much, much better today. The whole set was good for the most part. 3rd and 6, that too was his first training trip back. He's still a little fat. His attitude is still a little skeptical since the castration. There was no immediate change with him, but he was okay. Jason said, listen, I went a mile 43. Yes, he ran starting in the backstretch for no reason, but he trotted great afterwards, and I went a mile 43. I thought the horse was good. Great. That's great to hear. I'm very happy. So, truthfully speaking, and no chance in hell, you know what I like? I'm going to tell you what I like. I was sitting there talking to Amy, and then Amy walked away, and Brody walked up to me and said, is there anything I can do differently on the track? That is an important question to ask. One that he hasn't asked before, and one that people don't ask near enough. You know, what did I do wrong and how can I change it? Now, is that because he only had one drive? And I tried to explain to him that the Eric gentlemen, we're lucky right now. They have guys like Jason Merriman and Jason McGinnis there, and Eric there, and even Daryl Rideout. These are guys that have a lot of experience with horses in general. And Eric, the way he handles the horse, is a guy that understands. And the questions I asked him after, he knows the answers because he's the type of guy that's asking himself those questions as the horse goes. Whether it's with I'm Fancy Like, her attitude, how she steers, how she finished. Did she go on and sprint on when he asked her, or did she hang a little bit? He's asking himself these questions because he's a good horseman. And I said to Brody, I said, I'm glad you asked me that. I said, no, you didn't do anything wrong. I said, yes, it was probably your fault that no chance and he'll run, but I put Chera Hole on the run. People put horses on the run all the time, and don't be hard on yourself. No chance at hill. You have to understand when the track is slippery and he's got flip-flops on, he wants to advance quickly, but his own body's going to fail him. His shoeing is going to fail him. He can't get out of the way quick enough, and he's going to roll off. So it's up to you, knowing the track situation and knowing that this horse has made breaks in this horse before. Double him up when he goes to move. Keep him bottled up and allow him to stretch out in his own, and then when he feels like he's got his legs under him when you come out of the turn, then you can let him trot forward. But you have to protect him in that position, and that's a good learning. It's a good tool to learn for a young trainer, young driver, or a young horse in this regard, is that you can overtrot yourself. And I keep telling you guys, that's what impresses me so much about those green shoe fillies in Ontario, is the fact that they will allow you to throttle them back. Horses won't generally allow you to do that. They'll make the mistake, and sometimes you really got to fight with them to keep them contained. But the two green shoe fillies, it's like they go to overtrot themselves, like, all right, easy. All right, no, okay, I'm just going to go easy here. Horses don't generally do that. They generally try to bolt forward. So I was glad that Brody asked me that, because I want him to learn too. Obviously, I'm sure the kid wants to be a driver and a trainer someday, and understanding if he is doing anything wrong, which in this case he didn't really do a lot wrong. I'm not saying he just snapped him on the tail and the horse run, no, but he let him advance when he should have kept him bottled up in neutral for another 4 or 5 strides till we got her squared away, till the horse switched his lead starting into the straight, and then he would have been just fine. No harm, no foul, no chance in hill. Again, very, very, very talented colt in Ohio. Again, we have a deep crew heading into, what's going on here? Temperature is too high.